before we talk about this game, both gamers young and old, I got to apologize for this is not one of the good ones. Now, The Lion King on the computer, or let's say on Windows, was a nice game, but I cannot say that for the NES. I'm not sure it's Disney's fault or Nintendo's fault, but you can see this is kinda weird. I rarely, let's say, put the blame on NES itself, but here is in this does not, let's say, you can, let's say, blame the NES for not being a very good platform here. And I got a feeling maybe they really do not put much effort in it. Anyway, for Lion King, it wasn't designed to be a game. Yeah, you can say it's a good idea. Let Simba, which is our main lioness, like there's a lion cub here, able to run around and let's say be a hero to the story. But if you're talking about story wise, Simba did nothing. He caused off trouble, almost got himself killed, and let's say got his father killed. He did later came back to reclaim the throne, let's say brought order to Africa, but that's a whole different thing. That's when he grew up. So if the game does have that, I am not going to, let's say, discredit it. But at present, all we have is baby Simba, and the way he attacks are in two ways. First, the roar, which stuns the enemy so we can, let's say, jump on him and kill him. Which is kinda odd, cause if you have seen the cartoon or let's say seen the movie, you know Simba roars was not scary, it was kind of funny. And they did actually give us a very good, let's say, animation movement of how Simba when he's falling down. You can see that a lot of times when he cannot, let's say, grip on the side of something and need to, let's say, hold in that position. And the roaring method is kinda cute. But I got to say this, I cannot see very clear on this. If this has been the Microsoft game, the one you play on your computer, it's far better. Why? Simba is much more larger. Sadly, in this platform, Simba has been minimized. I mean, yeah, the back screen does, let's say, is important here, but I do not see much of Simba here, which is kinda sad. And yeah, I'm trying to fight Hyena and that's it. After defeating Hyena, you win the game. Just pounce on me a few times, which the computer game was already awkward, and now we use it in the NES. And oh god, just look at this. The animation, the drawing is kinda bad. Although you can, let's say, you do a tail swing movement, I mean that's based on the game, but let's face it, the drawing's not good, right? And you can see it's not good, and not just not good. Does that give you a feeling that this game could be bootlegged? I admit, first time playing this, I thought this was a bootleg game. Now, for other younger players who have no idea what a bootleg game is, a bootleg game simply in Chinese is what you call 盗版, or let's say a pirated game where they don't have the license and they try to make it themselves. They do a lot of copying and stealing here from there, but from what I found out, this was not a bootleg game. This was actually an official release, although it's debatable based on the look over here and based on the information found on the internet. And if this had been a bootleg game, I'm not complaining that much because the drawing is really terrible. But if this has been an official release of Disney, this is kind of sad. Just to let you know, one of the best part of the game is this, where Pumbaa is eating, let's say, bugs. The animation was fabulous, but over here, what had a very awkward movement over here. And now we are back to a hyena fight again. And you can see the movement are not smooth and kind of zombie-like, which is kind of sad. Yeah, this is not the best games over here. And if you're talking about the way Simba attacks, don't forget he's just a baby lion, what expect. And if I'm not mistaken, this place should be the elephant graveyard, right? I mean, I do see a lot of bone-like thingies around here, although I'm not very certain are they. And if you notice, right, the background is black and white and nothing else, and we are fighting these hyenas one by one. Which is kind of easy because the way they move are kind of, let's say, bad, and let's say slow, and let's say not very responsive. But your controls aren't responsive either, so I say this is gonna be a fair fight. But on the other hand, I need to point out, in order to make this game playable, at least you need to, let's say, do something and let's say don't die easily, which is what they did for the characters and let's say for the enemies over here. Their movements are very slow, as you can say, and that was the only good thing about this game and nothing else. I'm gonna say that. Like, just take this birds flying for instance. It's jumping in a position that actually is very hard for you to, let's say, get near to it, and you need to, let's say, leap on these platforms to go up, which I admit the first try I was going through this, I have no idea these were the, let's say, platforms I need to leap, grab so I can, let's say, jump to the other side, which is kind of weird. Let's look here. These cliffs make sense. These cliffs make sense, but those hooks over there at the other side, they don't make sense at all. It doesn't, let's say, look like the thing that I should basically hang on to, let's say, flit through this obstacle. Okay, and I have to point out the power-ups I eat here are kind of pointless. It doesn't really help me here and there, and I have no idea why a cloud suddenly shit out a bird in a position which I can't, let's say, fight it. But just that you know, in this game it's more like survival horror. You'll be running around more than, let's say, fighting your opponents. And don't forget, your raw is not that scary. And by the way, I just want to know, since this is a lion, right? I mean, yeah, lion cub is still a lion. Why can't I claw or bite my opponents? At least I should be given the, let's say, authority or a privilege to do that, right? At least I deserve that, right? You know, if I can claw this hyena, it shouldn't be a task for me to kill it. But why not? All I can do is, let's say, bounce on it, which is kind of strange. I just need to jump on it 3 times and I sort of kill it. Maybe they just got the idea from Mario, I have no idea. And I didn't collect all of these icons for no good reason, and they are kind of pointless. So I need to put it this way. If this has been a Disney game, right, it is definitely a cash grab. There's nothing else I can say but a cash grab. And just let you know, another reason I believe that this was a bootleg game, because I believe they have no idea about the source material. So far I've defeated 4 hyenas. 4 hyenas. As I can recall, based on the animation, there's only 3 hyenas. And alright, and let's look at the worst part of the game, the stampede of the buffaloes. Where are the buffaloes? Here they are. Do you see their feet movement? Nope. Now, when it comes to the movie, this is definitely the most scary and most intense part. For this is where Simba's father died. And for you to make it into a game and it looks like this is all sorts of wrong over here, guys. I'm gonna say that it's not really that good, and let's admit it. The wallabies that, let's say, rushing past us, right? They look like cars. This is a very odd version of frog. Yeah, the frog crossing a river, only here you are not allowed to cross a river. You have to swim through across the river or the road where the cars try to run over you. Cars, boats, whatever. Not to mention, Simba does not even look like Simba here. This is definitely the game creators want to, let's say, add in some more stuff, some more new elements in it, but they totally fail in it. And when I say fail it, they fail in it in a very, very bad way. Not to mention, just listen to the background music. Smooth, gentle, not intense. This is where Simba fathers died. It should be tense, it should be scary, it should be intimidating, it should give you a rush of trying to survive. But no, it's just a soft and let's say warm-hearted music. Making matters even worse, if you really hear out throughout the entire game, this is the only music you have. And now we are here, still as a cub. And believe me, I am already more than halfway through this game. Did I run to the Puma and Puma? No. I did not run into the Meerkat or the Hog, which I should. And if I point out I didn't run into them, right? That also shows that you, my fellow players, will not get the chance of seeing a grown-up Simba. How's that? How do you feel about that? Feel being cheated? Feel being blurred? Well, some may ask, hey, if that was the case, I'm not going to grow up and the game ends when I'm still a tiger cub, like a lion cub. Who's the final boss over here? I mean, this is the NES, right? It should have a final boss, right? Who the hell is the final boss? I really want to know. Please let me know. Who is that? You'll see that later. And just let you know, the only opponents that are intimidating are these hyenas, and they are not even intimidating at all. Just let you know, if you, let's say, run off the screen, it's not going to chase you. You just stay over there for no reason. And if you do fall, you die over here, don't know. Just like you know. That's it. Yeah, I mean, just to get that extra life, I just do it. Why? Because this game is not tough and all this. There's no intense matter. And yeah, okay. Thank you. Wakuna Matata. Sorry. No meerkats, no hawks. We are just in the animal paradise where there are lots of greens and other animals. Yeah, and this is a place where Simba ate bugs. I know. Now coming down to a low level, or you jump up to a higher level. I don't even have opponents here. I think you just run off really. And do you see that giant ape on the top? That, my friends, is the final boss. Now, don't you give me that strange look of what the hell? There was no giant white ape or albino ape in Lion King when there's no such thing as a final boss. Shouldn't that be my uncle, the psychotic lion known as Scar? No, you don't get that. And the way for you to defeat, just whack rocks at him and that was over. And just look at this drawing. Look at it. Does it feel like a pirated game? I have to say, up to this date, up to this moment, I still feel like this is a pirated game, and this is not one of the Disney franchise. And if so, it should be, because it will be very hard for me to accept that Disney would put out such a failure. And then Disney did the Star Wars movies. Sorry, my fellow players, young and old. There's still another not really that good Disney game before we go into good ones later. And we'll see you then when we reach them. Okay?